Hey there guys, EctoMaster here. It is, well, Beta Legion, you know. I was going to say it's Sunday. It is Sunday that I'm recording this and hopefully putting it up at the same time. Forgot, I'm not doing the, whatever. Anyways, we're taking a look at the Shaman talents so we can see what they're all about. We're just going to go down the list like we have all the others, or up, depending on where they put us when we log in. Yeah, whatever. So we're going to start with Elemental, go to Enhancement and Restoration. Primary stat for two of these is Intellect, the other is Agility, but we'll get a little more into that in a minute. So first things first, Elemental! It's a DPS spec, primary stat is Intellect. It's a spellcaster who harnesses the destructive forces of nature and the elements. Surprise. Flame Shock, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Lava Burst, Earth Shock, and Lava Surge. Those are all your primary abilities. And again, since they are a base class, we don't have any more hero classes, so I'm just going to say that every time. Start at level 15 with your first talent, so first talent up is Path of Flame. Lava Burst deals 5% more damage and causes Flame Shock to spread from the target to a nearby enemy. Earthen Rage, your damaging spells incite the earth around you to come to your aid for 6 seconds, repeatedly dealing X fire damage to your most recently attacked target. And Totem Mastery summons 4 totems that increase your combat capabilities for 2 minutes. Resonance Totem generates 1 Maelstrom every 1 second. Storm Totem increases the chance for a Lightning Bolt to trigger Elemental Overload by 10%. Ember Totem increases the Flame Shock damage over time by 20%. And Tailwind Totem increases your haste by 2%. Now what they mean by Maelstrom is that new ability up there we see 0 of 100, Maelstrom. So yes, you have mana, but also Maelstrom. Gust of Wind at level 30 is your first choice. And it's simple, a gust of wind hurls you forward. Ancestral Guidance for the next 10 seconds. 20% of your damage and healing is converted to healing on up to 3 nearby injured party or raid members. And Windrush Totem summons a totem at the target location for 15 seconds, continually granting all allies who pass within 10 yards 60% increased movement speed for 5 seconds. At level 45, we have Lightning Surge Totem. It summons the totem at the target location that gathers electrical energy from the surrounding area, and then explodes up to 2 seconds to stun all enemies within 8 yards for 5 seconds. Earth Grab Totem summons the totem at the target location for 20 seconds. The totem pulses every 2 seconds, rooting all enemies within 10 yards for 5 seconds. Enemies previously rooted by the totem instead suffer 50% movement speed reduction. And then Voodoo Totem. It replaces Hex. Summons the totem at the target destination for 10 seconds. The totem hexes all enemies within 8 yards into frogs, which are incapacitated and unable to attack or cast spells. Damage or leaving the area will interrupt the effect. At level 60, we have Elemental Blast. Harnesses the raw power of the elements, dealing X elemental damage and increasing your critical strike, haste, and mastery by Y for 10 seconds. Ancestral Swiftness increases haste by 10% and attack speed by 10%. And then Echo of the Elements. Lava Burst now has 2 charges. Other effects that reset its remaining cooldown while now instead grant 1 charge. Level 75, there's Elemental Fusion. Flame Shock has a 5% increased chance to trigger Lava Surge. Primal Elementalist. Your Earth, Fire, and Storm elementals are drawn from Primal Elementals, 80% more powerful than regular elementals, with additional abilities, and you gain direct control over them. And Ice Fury hurls frigid ice at the target, dealing X frost damage and causing your next 4 frost shocks to deal 400% increased damage. And it generates 24 Maelstrom. Elemental Mastery. Elemental forces empower you with 30% haste for 20 seconds is your first choice for level 90. Sorry, I had a burp in the middle of that. Storm Elemental replaces Fire Elemental, calls forth a greater Storm Elemental to hurl gusts of wind that damage the Shaman's enemies and generate Maelstrom for the Shaman for 1 minute. Aftershock. Your spells refund 25% of all Maelstrom spent on them. Finally, level 100, we have Ascendance. Transform into a Flame Ascendant for 15 seconds. Replacing Chain Lightning with Lava Beam, removing the cooldown on Lava Burst, and increasing the damage of Lava Burst by an amount equal to your critical strike chance. Lightning Rod. Your Lightning Bolt and Chain Lightning have a 30% chance to make a primary target a Lightning Rod for 10 seconds. When you deal damage with Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, they deal an additional 20% of their damage to all Lightning Rods. And then Liquid Magma Totem. Summons a totem at the target location for 15 seconds that hurls liquid magma at a random nearby target every 0.9 seconds, dealing X fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards. There's Elemental. So let's move on to Enhancement. That primary stat is Agility. So, a little different. It's not going to use Intellect. I just realized how dark of a place I put my little dwarf shaman. Oh well. No biggie, right? So, Enhancement, a totemic warrior who strikes foes with weapons imbued with elemental power. Rockbiter, Storm Strike, Stormbringer, Flame Tongue, Lava Lash, and Maelstrom weapon. I just watched all these strong, well, not all of them, some of the Strong Bad videos. So every time I end a sentence, I kind of want to do like the adventure thing that he did. The Safari Venture Tour. And then we did this thing. Yeah. Alright, moving on. Level 15, we have Wind Song. It lashes your enemy for X nature damage and enhances your weapons with wind, increasing your attack speed by 20% for 15 seconds. Hot Hand, melee attacks with Flame Tongue active, also makes your next Lava Lash cost no Maelstrom and deal 100% increased damage. Boulder Fist, it replaces Rockbiter, slams your target with the power of stone, dealing X nature damage and enhancing your weapons for 10 seconds, increasing your critical strike chance by 10%, and all damage you deal by 5%. It generates 25 Maelstrom. Level 30, we have Rainfall. Blankets the target area in Healing Rain, restoring X health to up to 6 allies over 10 seconds. Storm Strike and Lava Lash extend the duration of Rainfall by 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 30 seconds. Feral Lunge. Lunge at your enemy as a ghostly wolf, biting them to deal X physical damage. And then Windrush Totem we saw. Lightning Surge Totem, Earth Grab Totem, Voodoo Totem we've all seen. Lightning Shield. Surround yourself with a shield of lightning for 1 hour, which has a chance to deal X nature damage when you deal or take melee damage. Now this is interesting because it's something that's already, it's like one of the first spells you get as a shaman. Ancestral Swiftness we saw, so let's go to Hailstorm. Frostbrand is Frostband. This is me stopping because I can't say the word. Frostbrand now also enhances your weapon's damage, causing each of your weapon attacks to also deal X frost damage. Done. Moving on. 75, we have Tempest. Stormbringer now affects the next 2 storm strikes. Overcharge Lightning Bolt now consumes up to 60 Maelstrom for up to 1,500% increased damage, but has a 8.0 second cooldown. Empowered Storm Lash. Storm Lash now spreads to 1 additional target and deals 30% additional damage. Level 90, we have Crashing Storm. Crash Lightning also electrifies the ground, leaving an electrical field behind, which damages enemies within it for X nature damage over 6 seconds. Fury of Air creates a vortex of wind 8 yards around you, dealing X damage every 1 second to enemies caught in the storm, and slowing them by 30% for 3 seconds. And Sundering shatters a line of the earth in front of you with your main hand weapon, causing X physical damage and knocking enemies to the side. That sounds familiar? That's because it's based off of the ability in Heroes of the Storm. Ascendance. So this one's slightly different. You transform into an air ascendant for 15 seconds, generating 4 maelstrom per second, and transforming your auto attacks and storm strike into wind attacks, which bypass armor and have a 30% 30-yard range. Landslide. Rockbiter now also enhances your weapon, increasing your attack power by 20% for 10 seconds. And then Earthen Spike we kind of saw. So, just to kind of cover it again just in case. Summons an Earthen Spike under an enemy, dealing X physical damage and increasing physical and nature damage to you. Damage you deal to the target by 10% for 10 seconds. Now that we've had all that, take a big breath. Let's work on restoration. So the primary stat for restoration is intellect again. Excuse me. It is a healer who calls upon ancestral spirits and the cleansing power of water to mend allies' wounds. So you have Healing Surge, Riptide, Healing Rain, Healing Wave, Chain Heal, and Tidal Waves. Alright. Level 15, Undulation. Every third Healing Wave or Healing Surge you cast heals for an additional 50%. Unleash Life. Unleashes elemental forces of life, healing a friendly target for X and increasing the effect of the Shaman's next direct heal by 30%. Torrent increases the initial heal from Riptide by 40%. Gust of Wind and Totem, Wind Rush Totem we've seen, but Graceful Spirit. Reduces the cooldown of Spirit Walker's Grace by 60 seconds and increases your movement speed by 20% while it is active. And increases your movement speed in Ghost Wolf form by an additional 10%. Skipping level 45. Crashing Waves. Tidal Waves increases the critical effect chance of Healing Surge by an additional 15% and reduces the cast time of Healing Wave by an additional 15%. Ancestral Guidance for the next 10 seconds. 20% of your damage and healing is converted to healing up to 3 nearby injured party raid members. Again, we saw that already. Deluge. Every time I see this word, just a tangent a little bit. At Disney World, the Seas with Nemo and Friends used to be just called The Living Seas. And there was a movie you had to watch before you got on the actual, attraction. And there was a point in the movie where it was just a heavy downpour. And the voiceover would go, and then the deluge. That's it. Anytime I hear that word, that's all I think of. Anyways, I had to get that off my chest. Chain Heal heals for an additional 20% on targets within your healing range or affected by your Riptide. It's level 60, level 75, Ancestral Protection Totem. Summons a totem at the target location for 30 seconds. All allies within 20 seconds of the totem gain 10% increased health. If an ally dies, the totem will be consumed to allow them to reincarnate with 20% health and mana. Cannot reincarnate an ally who dies to massive damage. There you go. Earthen Shield Totem. Summons a totem with X health at your feet for 15 seconds. Y damage from each attack against allies within 10 yards of the totem is redirected to the totem. Ancestral Vigor. Targets you heal with Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Chain Heal, or Riptide's initial heal gain 10% increased health for 10 seconds. Bottomless Depths. Resurgence always triggers when you heal a target below 60% health. Cloudburst Totem summons a totem at your feet for 15 seconds that collects power from all of your healing spells. When the totem expires or dies, the stored power is released, healing all injured allies within 40 yards for 30% of all healing done while it was active, divided evenly among the targets. Casting this spell a second time recalls the totem and releases the healing. Echo of the Elements. Riptide, Healing Stream, Totem, and Lava Burst now have 2 charges. Other effects that reset their remaining cooldowns will instead grant 1 charge. In addition, when you cast Healing Wave, Healing Surge, Riptide, or Chain Heal, you have a 10% chance to generate a charge of Riptide. There you have that. Level 100 Ascendant is there again, but this one, you transform into a Water Ascendant. For 15 seconds, causing all healing you deal to be duplicated and distributed evenly among nearby allies. Wellspring creates a surge of water that flows forward, healing all friendly targets in a wide arc in front of you for X. And last but not least, the last talent for a shaman, like in all 3 specs, in all of them. High Tide. Chain Heal bounces to 1 additional target, and its fall off with each bounce is reduced by half. So there you have it, guys. That is the Shaman. We're going to pick up with the next class, which I believe is Warrior. Or it's Warlock. It's one or the other. I think it's Warlock. Anyways, we'll pick up with the next. They're on their way, so it's coming very soon.